वहाँ जाएंगे सीधे प्रोग्राम के लिए। लेकिन आज हमारे पास हमारे बीच में बहुत डिग्निटी है जनरल ललित राय, द हीरो ऑफ कारगिल, गोखले, ग्रैंड सन ऑफ गोपाल कृष्ण गोखले। भाई देव, आप तो जानते हैं अभिनय में अभी उनका प्राइस टैग जो जोर में चल रहा है ड्रामा बहुत, तो और हर्षा भट्टर जो CMA ऑल इंडिया में 3rd रैंक। मैं राय साहब को विनती करता हूँ कि आप हमारी जो परंपरा है महावीर जैन विद्यालय की डिफेंस की जो भी टॉप की पर्सनैलिटी है हम उनको हर साल बुलाते हैं और उन्हीं के हाथों से हम फ्लैग होस्टिंग करते हैं। सच देशभक्त आप है, जो देश है आज आपके कारण है और इसीलिए हम आपके लिए बहुत गर्व करते हैं।
सच्ची नहीं लगता ना, उन्होंने झंडा लगाया था लास्ट। जिसका मार एक साथ सलामी दे।
बड़ी कुर्बानियों के बाद हमने ये सौगातें पाई है, बड़े संघर्षों के कारण ये दिन और रातें आई है।
खून बहाया था अपना और जाने तक दे डाली थी, 200 सालों की बड़ी दर्दनाक रातें अंधियारी काली थी।
और फिर सूरज की किरणों का उजाला हमने पाया था, आज़ादी की आज़ाद हवा में अपना तिरंगा लहराया था, आज़ादी की आज़ाद हवा में अपना तिरंगा लहराया था। Good morning, one and all. Honorable dignitaries, Yuvraj sir, committee members, and to a lion-hearted person, a man of action, and a man who has a big heart for his country.
Yes, friends, we are very honored to have our chief guest for today, Colonel Lalit Roy sir.
On this auspicious day of 68th Independence Day,
I, Rishabh Runwal,
and I, Itisha Jain, welcomes you all on behalf of SMJ. वतन हमारा ऐसा न छोड़ पाए कोई, रिश्ते हमारे ऐसे न तोड़ पाए कोई।
दिल हमारा एक है हमारी जान, हिंदुस्तान हमारा है ये हमारी शान।
हिंदुस्तान हमारा है ये हमारी शान। अब मैं आमंत्रित करना चाहूँगी हमारे चीफ गेस्ट कर्नल ललित रॉय सर, युवराज सर और सभी कमेटी मेंबर्स को कि वे मंच पर आए और दीप प्रज्वलित करें। सर प्लीज।
Kalpesh bhai, please come on stage.
मेरे देश की धरती।
आज के कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ करने के लिए आपके सामने प्रस्तुत है गणेश वंदना। सो प्लीज वेलकम ऑन स्टेज ग्रीष्मा एंड ग्रुप।
चढ़ायो अच्छा गजमुख को, मुंदिल लाल विराजे सुत गौरी हर को। हाथ लिए गुड़ लड्डू साई सुरवर को, महिमा कहे न जाए लागत हूँ पद को। जय देव जय देव जय जय जी गणराज विद्या सुखदाता, धन्य तुम्हारो दर्शन मेरा मन रमता। जय देव जय देव भगति से कोई शरणागत आवे, संतति संपत्ति सब ही भरपूर पावे। ऐसे तुम महाराज मोको अति भावे, गोसावी नंदन निच दिन गुण गावे। जय देव जय देव जय जय जी गणराज विद्या सुखदाता, धन्य तुम्हारो दर्शन मेरा मन रमता। जय देव जय देव लुटांगण वंदिन चरण डोळ्यान पाहिन रूप तुझे। प्रेमे अलंगिन आनंद पूजन भावे वाळिन म्हणे नावा। त्वमेव माता पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बंधुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या तरुणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृति स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणाय समर्पयामि। अर्चितं केशवं रामनारायणं कृष्ण दामोदरं वासुदेवं हरि श्रीधरं माधवं गोपिकावल्लभं जानकी नायकं रामचन्द्रं भजे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे।
जोरदार तालियां हो जाए सुंदर प्रस्तुति के लिए।
Now I would like to call Mr. Prakhar to present his act. I would request Mr. Prakhar from Swatantra Theatre to present his act. I apologize. It gives us immense pride to have the bravest of brave, Colonel Lalit Roy sir with us. The adjectives are also not quite enough to describe sir's personality and achievements. For that, I would like to call upon Shanu Jain to briefly introduce our chief guest.
Yesterday when I got Sir's CV, I was completely amazed after seeing so many achievements. The achievements were so many that I was unable to put them on words, on papers and in mind. That completely amazed me. I think that they will amaze you too. And also, they will give you an opportunity to think about your future. Because these achievements, these targets are achievable. Sir, Colonel Lalit Rai Veer Chak. Sir has completed his Masters in Management Studies from Osmania University, a postgraduate course in Management from College of Defence Management, Secunderabad. He has also completed a post-graduation degree in International Defence Management course from Naval Postgraduate School, California, USA. And further, he has been conferred title of a research fellow in defense studies and Shivaji Chair by Pune University. Sir has experience like a sea has with its fishes. Sir has experience of commanding and leading an infantry battalion in actual war during Operation Vijay. He has also commanded a Rashtriya Rifles Battalion in active counter-insurgency operation in Jammu and Kashmir, organized and looked after the complete logistics of the army in Maharashtra and Sikkim, represented Indian Army in logistics presentation at an international symposium in Paris, conducted a large number of leadership and team building program for the country. Sir has over 37 years of real life experience in leadership, HR management and logistics. Over the time, Sir has also addressed and motivated over 20,000 students and more than 50,000 teachers and corporate professionals. Due to all these efforts and hard work and good deeds for the country as well as the society, Sir has been awarded Veer Chakra by President of India for conspicuous gallantry and inspirational leadership displayed during the Kargil War. Chief of Army Staff Commendation Card for bravery and exemplary devotion of duty. Title of Bravest of Brave for a sterling performance of the battalion during the Kargil War under his command. The inaugural late Shri Sunil Dutt Award for Distinguished and Selfless Service to Nation by Mankar Pratishthan, facilitated by Prime Minister of India for inspirational leadership and bravery during Kargil War, facilitated by Vice Chancellor Pune University and large number of organizations for inspirational and exemplary leadership. This is not done with Sir. He has zeal to do something more, and still he is doing. Not for himself only, but for the society as well as for the country. Currently, Sir is President of Human Resource and Development at Panchsheel Realty, Chief Mentor at NGO Tree Public, Member Governing Body at Queen Mary Technical Institute, Pune. Sir, any words will be less and no time will be sufficient to describe your achievements and personality. Sir, it gives me immense pleasure to have you with us on this glorious Independence Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shanu. Now, I would like to call Yuvraj Sir to felicitate our Honorable Chief Guest for today, Colonel Lalit Roy Sir.
Please have a big round of applause for them.
ये बोला मेरा रंग दे हो मेरा रंग दे हो माए रंग दे बसंती चोला मेरा रंग दे हो मेरा रंग दे हो माए रंग दे बसंती चोला आजादी के मत वालों का देखा जब से टोला आग जो मेरे दिल में थी वो
I would like to call our another chief guest, Sunil Gokhale sir, who is a grandson of Gopal Krishna Gokhale.
And we'd like to call Motiwala sir to felicitate him.
जागा कुर्बानी का जज्बा मेरा दिल ये बोला मेरा रंग दे ओ मेरा रंग दे ओ माए रंग दे बसंती चोला मेरा रंग दे ओ मेरा रंग दे ओ माए रंग दे बसंती चोला.
Thank you, sir. Now I would call Jay sir to felicitate Mr. Pradeep Vaidya sir. I apologize.
भारत माँ के पैरों में जंजीर न देखी जाए.
Thank you, sir. Now we request Sadhna ma'am to felicitate CA Harsha Bhattar.
कौम पे अपनी
Please come ahead.
अत्याचार बढ़ाए जाने दूध का कर्ज चुकाने का मौसम कब आए जाने दूध का कर्ज चुकाने का मौसम कब आए मेरे खून में देश प्रेम का रंग है तूने घोला मेरा रंग दे ओ मेरा रंग दे
ओ माए रंग दे बसंती चोला मेरा रंग दे ओ मेरा रंग दे
Thank you, ma'am.
रंग दे बसंती चोला मेरा
Thank you, sir.
ओ मेरा रंग दे ओ माए
Now, I would just like to request Prashant Shah from Baramati to just present a memento to sir. Prashant Shah from Baramati. Prashant Shah, Shrenik Shah. Can we have a huge round of applause, please?
प्रदीप वैद्य ऑन द स्पॉट बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती है यहाँ पे सब खाली कर दे प्रदीप Now,
Can we have applause, please?
now we would like to call Mr. Pradeep Vaidya sir on stage, please. And I request Yuvraj sir to felicitate him. Have a big round of applause for him. Backing down is not his way. He will stand his ground firm and sound. All over his life he served his country and always ready when the duty called.
Now, I would like to invite our Honorable Chief Guest, Colonel Lalit Rai sir, to share his views and experiences with us. Sir, please.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear young friends, a very, very good morning to you all. No Josh? Yeah, that's it. Matter of fact, from the time I have stepped into your campus, the one thing I loved is the Josh that I see in all of you. That's fantastic. Keep it up. Yes, this is the trailer from what I'm also going to tell you. My heartiest congratulations and many happy returns of the day to your secretary, Mr. Yuvraj. What a lucky man. On Independence Day is his birthday. Unfortunately, both of us are still married. Sorry, Mrs. Shah. What do I say? Independence Day. When I went there, up there in the podium, and I unfurled the Tiranga Jhanda, I was transported back in time. I remember I was cold, I was hungry, I was frustrated, I was weak, and I was shaking with all these emotions and sentiments. I had lost a lot of my men in battle. But ultimately we had done it. We had captured one of the toughest points in the heart of Pakistan occupied defenses, and the same feeling I got today when I unfurled the Tiranga over there also. Thank you. When you talk about Independence Day, I don't want to make a boring Independence Day speech, Because I've come here to basically shake you all up, especially the young people over here, to get into action. Because we have had enough of speeches, enough of inactivity, enough of bhashan. I think it's time for us to act. And you young people, you are the future and the tomorrow of India. And if you don't act, nothing is going to change our nation. So my first request to you all is, I will tell you something, but I want in return a promise from you all that you will practice what I'm going to say. Are you all for it? Yes, thank you very much. So I was talking about independence. What is independence? In the past, can you reduce the echo, please? The mic echo, please, can you reduce it? In the past, independence meant only independence from the colonial rule of the Britishers. That was pre-1947. But what does independence mean today? That is important. Does it have the same significance what it had in 47? When a lot of people died, a lot of people sacrificed their everything so that we could breathe easy, we could live freely, and we could practice freely what we wanted to do. So, but what is the meaning of independence today? This is what I ask you. We don't have any Britishers to fight. There is no colonial rule. There is no one standing on top of you. So what is independence today? Please think. Because I feel today we are in a bigger battle for independence than what our forefathers fought against the Britishers. I, as a person, would like to have independence from corruption. I want to have independence from this type of indiscipline that is there in our country today. I want independence and freedom from the ill feelings and hurting of each other's religious sentiments which is prevalent in our country today. Do you agree with me? Yes. And this battle, my dear friends, is a tough one. It's not as easy where you have an enemy whom you can recognize, who's wearing a uniform, and you know the target is there and I can shoot him. Here is the enemy which comes often dressed as your best friend, a relative perhaps, someone you know from your own society, who's practicing all these ills and making our country still caged and not independent. I want you all to fight against this type of ill, and I want you all to fight for independence from all these ills. This is what I want. Now, when I see a flag fluttering, someone had sent me a lovely message. He says, when you see the flag fluttering, the flag flutters not because of the wind. It flutters because of the breath of all those martyrs who laid their lives for the country. I need hardly go back into history. You all are more aware than my generation. What happened pre-47? Let's take it back to 1857, the Sepoy Mutiny, then all those fight for freedom, Jallianwala Bagh, 1942, Quit India movement, the Salt March, the Dandi March, etc., etc., etc. And closer home, we have fought 4 wars with Pakistan. In 1947, when they came couched as tribals and they attacked Jammu and Kashmir to try and annex Jammu and Kashmir from us. Then in 1965, when they attacked us suddenly. 1971, again they attacked us. And that time, we gave them a really telling blow. And in 71, first time in the annals of any military history, we got 93,000 fully armed prisoners of war whom we captured and brought them to India. It's a different matter that our politicians, they did not know how to make use of this fantastic bargaining chip that we had. And we were back to square one and the prisoners was given back just like that. Then the last one was 1999, the Kargil War, which I had the fortune of fighting for my nation. When I came here, Mr. Yuvraj told me, please tell them something about the war. I actually did not want to say anything about the war. But seeing the josh of all the young people over here, and also because of his request, I will touch upon a few aspects of the war. When I was flown into that place in 2 helicopters, normally you ask for 1 helicopter for a recce mission, you don't get it. But we were in such dire straits that I was the first person who was approached by the army headquarters to lead the Gurkha Rifles into battle. And I didn't ask for anything, but they wanted me in so badly, they sent 2 helicopters, 1 for my baggage and 1 for me, and I was dropped straight into the battlefield. And even when I landed there, as soon as I landed there, there was so much of shelling from the enemy, that is artillery fire, you know those bombs which go off. There was so much of shelling. My second in command who had come to meet me, he just hugged me very tightly. And I told him later on, because he was so relieved to see the commanding officer who has come now to lead them into battle. So I was joking with him later on. I told him, if your wife had seen the way you hugged me, she would have been very jealous. Anyway, we got into battle. For 2-3 months, there was no action. There was pounding and pounding of shelling. Initially, people thought they were just those militants who had just crossed through the line of control, which is about 1,700 kilometers of absolutely rough terrain. But later on, we realized by the type of fire that was coming on us that these were not militants or terrorists. These were trained soldiers who were firing at us. And we kept sending the message back that these are trained soldiers who are firing at us. And they kept telling us from behind, no, they are some militants, Colonel Rai, just take 1 or 2 companies of your men and finish them. A battalion, incidentally, is approximately 1,000 to 1,500 men, which I led. Anyway, for 2 months, we kept on getting bombarded. So many people dying. I remember one bomb falling very close to me with my 4 sentries. And the bomb was so powerful when they fired with the artillery that it actually made them into shreds, those 4 bodies. And I took 2 days to collect those small the pieces of their bodies and put them up together. And we didn't know who it was till we found out who were the people on duty. I mean, that was the type of a situation. We were down. And when I got a chance, I volunteered. I said, I'll take my battalion, I will attack the enemy in the heart of the enemy, a place called Khalubar in Batalik. Because people had already assessed that if we can take that Batalik, which is in the heart of their defenses, our job would be done. But the question was, who is going to go through the enemy lines, getting fired upon, getting bombarded upon, and then take Khalubar over there, in the heart of the enemy? I volunteered. I said, sir, the general was there. I was the commanding officer. I said, sir, with my battalion, I will take this task and I will go and I will capture this Khalubar. And believe me, thank you for your applause, but when I came back and told my men that this is the place, Khalubar is the place which is very, very, important and we have to capture it, everybody said, yes sir, isko to lena hi lena hai. But then I said, on your behalf, I volunteered that we will go and capture it. Their jaws fell down. They said, ye pagal ho gaya. Because the task was as good as impossible that time. Now, I want to share with you all, when I stood up and volunteered that we would capture that mountain, huge mountain. I have a PPT with a lot of photographs, but today I'm not equipped for it. But just to tell you, it's a huge mountain at 18,000 feet above sea level. When I volunteered to capture that mountain, I'm admitting now, and believe me, I did not know how I would do it. I did not know whether I was capable of doing it, and whether just 1,000 or 1,200 people that I had with me were capable of even reaching up to that mountain, leave alone taking it with the enemy sitting on top. But, like my father always taught me, first you dare, then you think, then you do. And I said, I will do it, come what may. And my prophecy was held true later on. Now, before I come to the battle scene, let me tell you one thing. It is not one enemy that we fought against there in Batalik and the Kargil war. 3 types of enemies. The first type of enemy was the high altitude. 18,000 feet above sea level was the battlefield. Nowhere in the annals of military history would you have heard of a battlefield at 18,000 feet. What happens at 18,000 feet? The temperatures prevalent are minus 32 degrees Celsius. Minus 32 degrees Celsius. And for all the ladies and the girls who are sitting down here who know something about buying a fridge, you know that the freezing component or the freezer of a fridge, the best one that you can get the quality, the lowest degree that it can go to is minus 8 degrees Celsius. And here we were fighting a battle at minus 32 degrees Celsius in a absolute freezing cold. And in that cold, when people are not equipped and they are not acclimatized properly, even if they are standing outside as sentries to guard our defenses, next morning they are found dead, stone, absolutely frozen like a stone. So that's why we have to be very careful how we acclimatize, how we train our people to recognize when the danger of the weather is coming on to us. And at that altitude, when people die, a normal person, the height is around 5 feet 6 inches, 5 feet 5 inches. When he dies over there because of the enemy fire or because of the weather, we have to send the body down. So we ask for a helicopter because we are sitting at 18,000 feet and above. When the helicopter comes, we realized that the helicopter, the length inside and the breadth inside is just about 3 feet, 3.5 feet. So how do you send the body in because the door has to be closed? Do you know what we have to do? These are the stark realities that we faced there. We had to chop the bodies into 2-3 pieces, tie them and put them in gunny bags and send them down.